Hello everyone, so different video from me today. As you can see from the title, it's kicking off in the YouTube and old media world. Simon Jordan versus Robbie off Arsenal Fan TV. Now, I've listened to TalkSport quite a lot and I have heard Simon Jordan have a few digs at Arsenal Fan TV. He questioned the IQ of some of the people on the station. He questioned Robbie's ethics as if to say he only does it to make money. And he kept going, and obviously Robbie responded with a video. And in Robbie's video, he basically said he's a failed chairman and he's a pompous dinosaur journalist, basically, old media. And he never goes to any games, so he shouldn't have more of an opinion on football than actual fans that go to every single games, i.e. the people who go on Arsenal Fan TV. So TalkSport did the classic. They got them together in a studio today between 12 and 1 it was. I did miss it live, but I've listened to it back and I'll get some of the quotes up to respond to now and give my opinion, because I'll try not to be biased as well, because obviously I do a football-y fan channel type thing, but I will give my actual opinions because I do have my reservations about Arsenal Fan TV as everyone does, but I also have my thoughts on Mr. Simon Jordan too. So anyway, let's get into it. So first of all, it starts off with Robbie says, "We go to every single game, every friendly, even in other countries. Simon, you're a Crystal Palace fan." Well, obviously, that's why I brought them. "How many Palace games you been to this season?" Simon Jordan, "None." "RL, none? You're looking down on these fans and you're saying they're not allowed to have their say, but you haven't been to a game. You admitted it." So that was a big defence from Robbie throughout the chat. It was a 40-minute chat in total, so there probably will be things I missed out, but that was how it started. And I kind of agree with Robbie here. I mean, Simon Jordan was questioning their IQ, which he tried to like sugarcoat and say he didn't, but he did, because I heard it live. And he is looking down on people, because obviously he's a successful man, a bit of an upper class person, I think it's fair to say, and he does look down on the type of fans that go on Arsenal Fan TV. So I think Robbie's got a great point here. How can fans that go to every single game, spend all their money, not have their right to an opinion? And why is Simon Jordan looking down on them, as Robbie is saying? And you know, basically he's looking down on them and saying that their opinion shouldn't really be valid, and I didn't like that comment, so I think Robbie gets the upper hand on that one. Next up, Simon Jordan responds with, "How many times have you owned a football club, and yet how many owners and chairmen have you commented on Aftv?" I'm assuming he means there. You don't know how to be a chairman, you don't know how to manage a football club, but you have an opinion on it, so I have an opinion." And he waffles on a bit and he says, "But I've listened to IFTV and I think it's toxic, I think it's destructive, and I think it's counterproductive. I believe the real energy behind your platform and the conflict of interest for you as a purported Arsenal fan." He gets a bit heated after this. So, on this bit here, obviously Simon Jordan's playing "Have you owned the club" card. Fair play to Simon Jordan. He got himself to a situation in life where he brought his boyhood club, ran out of money, eventually had to sell and become a bit of a bitter bloke, to be honest, when he had to get rid of it. And all he does these days is go on TalkSport and give opinions, and I think a lot of his opinions are rubbish, by the way. But anyway, so he plays that card. Obviously, Robbie has not got the money to own a football club, and he's never had a chairman on. And another argument that Simon Jordan was making throughout the video was, throughout the argument was, Arsenal don't like Arsenal Fan TV, and they said that's the reason they took the Arsenal out and called it AFTV. But Robbie did deny that and say they changed to AFTV themselves for like commercial reasons, I think. But so Simon Jordan's basically saying the club don't like it. You've never had like a chairman and that on. Robbie did respond by saying he has spoke to the club and they don't mind Arsenal Fan TV. They let it be. They're happy that the fans get an opinion. Don't know how true that is. But and obviously these other comments about it being toxic. You have got to agree that Arsenal Fan TV gets its most views, which was a big point Simon Jordan kept making, is when Arsenal are struggling. But in anything, in any type of media, when there's something goes wrong and there's controversy and backlash and people are going mad, that's when you get the most views. Arsenal Fan TV do still get decent views, like they beat West Ham, which Robbie kept saying on the thing. They beat West Ham 3-1 away and they got a number 4 trending video. So they do still get views when Arsenal win, but let's be honest, their views skyrocket when they lose. But it ain't just Arsenal fans watching Arsenal Fan TV. Because of the comedy value of Arsenal Fan TV, all fans watch it when they lose because it's funny. And Robbie can't deny that his channel is so huge because Arsenal have done bad. But I think it's unfair to say that Robbie loves it when Arsenal lose, because deep down he's been an Arsenal fan all his life, so I think that's very harsh to make those claims. But I do agree, looking from the outside in, if you're not an Arsenal fan, it does seem very toxic when you get the likes of Troops and DT and all that on there going mad when they lose. So yeah, I kind of agree with the toxic comment, but mainly from the people outside looking in. In response to him calling him a purported Arsenal fan, this triggered Robbie a bit. Robbie said, "Purported Arsenal fan says the person who doesn't go to any games. I was at the game last night. I got in at 4 in the morning. Purported." The former Crystal Palace owner also laid down accusations that there is no coincidence Aft's brand has grown, which we just discussed. He did go on and on about his brand growing from 2017 when they started to struggle. And he did say, "I admire you, Robbie, because you've seen the opportunity," which is fair enough. He has. Robbie, as much as you can slate Arsenal Fan TV, he was one of the first ones to really get the fan channel going. And he's made it massive today. He mentioned on there that he had a job at the time when he first started, and he just did it off his own back. And he wanted to give normal fans a voice, but obviously it's his own beast these days. It has flew up through the roof. He basically goes on to say that he's got a conflict of interest, which we mentioned, that if Arsenal do bad, Robbie does good. If Arsenal do well, Robbie's YouTube channel don't do so good. Robbie didn't really respond to this, but what's he going to say? Yeah, I want him to lose. I don't think that. Obviously, he's probably happy his bank balance is padded, but if Arsenal in the last 5 or 6 years were just unbelievable, I'm sure Arsenal Fan TV would still be around, but let's be honest, it probably wouldn't be as popular. Yeah, so that was the main points really out of what happened in the argument. It was just, what I will say actually, just to wrap this up, before I give my opinion on it, like proper opinion. Simon Jordan started this. He was on TalkSport. They obviously were struggling with things to talk about, and they kept bringing Arsenal Fan TV up. Now, no matter what you say about Arsenal Fan TV, whether you think it's rubbish, whether you think the production's rubbish, whether you think the people they get on are stupid, low IQ, as Simon Jordan said, the old media, like the TalkSport, Sky Sports, all the old, like BBC Sport, whoever, the newspapers, they don't understand this new generation coming through, this YouTube generation. I don't know about you, but personally myself, I hardly watch Match of the Day anymore because I always watch the Sky Sports highlights go whack straight onto YouTube. I watch most of my stuff for YouTube. I'd personally rather go on to YouTube after a game and watch the opinion of someone like Dave off Talking Wolves, or Finner's vlogs, or there's loads of vloggers out there who give their opinion post games, Tom off the old Gold and Black, than listen to some random bloke on the TalkSport radio or whatever other sports channel you want to listen to, or Sky Sports panel, who literally see Wolves for 5 minutes every so often, most of their opinions are Neves is the best player in the world and he could play for any club in the Premier League. But in reality, Wolves fans know that's not true. That's just an example I give. So these fan channels are booming because the younger generation like to see opinions of real football fans that go to every game, and that was the argument Robbie was making. So I do believe the likes of TalkSport, Simon Jordan, Jim White, I forgot to mention Jim White, he was horrendous in this debate, by the way. He was in the middle, he was all on Simon Jordan's side, little digs towards Robbie every so often. I didn't like it. They are rattled. They don't get why the likes of Arsenal Fan TV and other football channels on YouTube get a lot more views than traditional media. They are rocks. They must look at it and think, how is this happening? Because they don't understand it. They don't understand the new media that's coming through, as I mentioned, and the new generation. This is the content they want to watch. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, but they try and join it as well. I mean, the likes of True Geordie does the kick-off, a bit like Sky Sports News, but obviously not as corrupt and formal, reading a bloody, what do they call it, when they're boring, they just sit there still reading stuff. They've tried to copy that, Sky. The Soccer AM lot try and do a watch-along thing. So they're seeing the likes of True Geordie and Arsenal Fan TV and all that, and they're trying to jump on the bandwagon, but they just don't get it. So they just hate it. They hate the fact that likes of Arsenal Fan TV and that get so many more views than traditional media, like 3 times as much in some cases. I'm sure, like even Soccer Saturday, I'm sure that still does quite well. Obviously, everyone loves Soccer Saturday, but the kickoff for True Geordie, he can get 200,000 live concurrent viewers on his channel these days. Times are changing. So, in summary, I can kind of see where Simon Jordan's saying about Arsenal Fan TV, but I believe this is more about traditional media being absolutely shook about new media coming through. And fair play to Robbie, he tried to hold his own, but that Simon Jordan is a very clever bloke. He's very well educated, and he wouldn't let Robbie speak, so I think he might have just about won the argument, but I think it's bigger than just this argument. I think it's the likes of Jim White being rocked as well. I mean, what would you rather watch? Would you rather watch Sky Sports News in the afternoon and just sat there reading an auto cue, boring, repeating stories, or go on YouTube, go on any fan channel you want, any sports person channel, and they get their proper opinion of normal people who are not media trained and boring? That's just my opinion. I mean, obviously I was going to be a bit biased because I do this myself, but let me know what you think in the comments. I think I've raffled on way too much now. Let me know in the comments what you think. I know obviously people who watch this video probably do like watching YouTube channels, so it might be a bit biased, but come at me. If you disagree, tell me, let me know. Bit of a different video from me, back to Wolves content on Thursday and obviously on the weekend, and maybe another boxing video in and amongst all that. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and as I say, comment below what you think. Hope this video is alright. I did waffle a bit, but hopefully I edited out the too much waffling. Cheers, lads.